Let's see. Hello, everybody. Just waiting for some people to get on. See who's out here. See what y'all doing. See what's going on with y'all. Oh, let me get my stuff. I need to go to the potty. I need to go to the potty. Yada 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 yada. That's where I need to go. To the potty yada. To the potty yada 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 yada. What's going on, YouTube family? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Wait for some of y'all to get on here. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up. Figured I'd come on here and talk to y'all tonight. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Who we got in here? Who we got in here? Ooh, excuse me. I got the burps. Who we got in here? Hey, your live chat. Welcome to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. Oh, okay. Say hi. Don't come in here and just look at me. Nobody called you. No. Lord have mercy. Where y'all at? Come in and say hi. Just don't come in and look. Come say hi. No matter who you are, say hello. I knew your mama taught you to speak. When you come in, people, I remember back in the day when I was younger, people used to say, you better speak. You ain't sleep with me last night. That used to be the saying back in the day. That used to be the saying. I went on TikTok the last couple of times, so I figured I'd come on here and talk to y'all. James Crumpler. Hey, Uncle James, how are you, sweetie? Of course I remember you, Uncle James. How can I forget you? I named you Uncle James. Don't forget it. I'm the one named you Uncle James. Hey, Chelsea, how are you today? Thank you for coming in. I just wanted to touch base with y'all, give y'all some, give y'all some encouragement today because there's a lot going on in the world and people need it. A lot of people are going through a lot of stuff, and it's just so evil out here right now. Like, it's so many evildoers. It's crazy. Of course I do. Of course I believe in God wholeheartedly. It's so many evildoers out here, yo. It really is. It's a lot of people doing a lot of bad stuff with really, really bad intentions. And they're just out here purposely just harming people. But I wanted to come on here tonight and just tell y'all, don't give up. Don't give up. Keep the faith, y'all. It's rough out here, A lot of people are struggling in a lot of ways. And it's a lot of racism going on. Like, when I say racism has reared its head, it has reared its head and it's out and it's in the open. And people are just judging you based off of the color of your skin, not your character, not what they've learned about you or anything. They just look at you and they look at the color of your skin and they automatically think that you're on food stamps, that you're trying to get free money from the government, that you're a bum, that you're this, you're that, you're not educated. It's just so bad. And it's sad because they're ignorant. And a lot of people, we use the word ignorant, but we need to know that the word ignorant means lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge. And they lack the knowledge. Let me tell you something. Black people of color, have been creating things since the beginning of time. A lot of things in your life and the luxuries that you have are because of people of color. If it wasn't for people of color, a lot of things would not exist. Okay, so I've put up like videos where I was like encouraging people that do get snapped, that if they have jobs, keep their jobs and different things like that. And it's sad because a lot of racist people have not watched my videos totally, and they have said some of the most degrading, racist, ignorant, belligerent comments that I have ever seen. But I realized that I wasn't mad so much at the comments. I just was I was stunned because I know it existed. And my grandma was born in 1917, and she always talked to me about that kind of stuff. But when I was born, it wasn't so blatant as it is now. So when I saw different things, like I've had people on those comments where I'm actually caring about people and trying to figure out, how I can help them. They're like, "Oh, you need to get a job. Oh, you people need to stop complaining. Oh, you're gonna have to go back to sucking, or you're gonna have to go back to this. Who paid for your braces? Who paid for your eyebrows? Who paid for your nails to get done? That's your problem. Y'all always worried about all that." And I'm thinking to myself, like, you don't even know me. You don't even know my struggle. You don't know where my life is right now. If you had taken out the time to do your homework and really check out my channel and see that I am speaking to the people that are in positions where what's going on right now is really affecting them. I had somebody say, nobody takes up for people that way or speak for other people. You're speaking about yourself. And I was stunned at the ignorance and the stupidity and the sheer dumbness of the racist people that are walking around on this planet and think that what they think and what they say and how they view things is 100% correct. It bewilders me that you think every Black person is trying to get over. Every Black person has this negative ulterior motive. I don't understand that. I come from, let me break something down to you. And I never addressed this on live, but I come from royalty. If you believe it or not, I'm sorry if you don't, but if you really do your homework, I come from royalty. Okay? I come from the creme de la creme. I come from people that have been creating things that your mind of your ancestors couldn't even perceive. My people are the reason the United States is standing. Okay? The money that the government has, I'm going to keep it real with you. We made that money, baby, in the fields. Okay? We're the ones that did the crops. We're the ones that picked the cotton. We're the ones that took care of your babies. We're the ones that did all that stuff. You see what I'm saying? We're the ones that let your child suckle on our breasts. Okay? But you degrade us and you talk about us like a dog. And the sad thing is, we are blessed by the sun. You cursed by it. You really, really, really need to sit back and learn about us. Now, a lot of things about us is from generations and generations and years of oppression, which has turned to depression, which has become a genetic disability. When you constantly beat on a person and you constantly cause them anxiety and you constantly cause them trauma, you constantly cause them some type of PTSD, that stuff carries down to their children and their children's children and their children's children's children. It's something that's created. It started somewhere, and it's a traumatic response to the abuse that was put upon people that came way before me. But nobody wants to talk about that. Let me tell you something. I advocate for my people. I advocate for the people of color. I ain't saying black people. I'm saying people of color. Okay? Want to know why? Because nobody advocates for us the way we need to advocate for us. I am not on food stamps. I did not raise my kids on food stamps. I hope some of them prejudiced people are on this live right now and can listen to the sound of my voice. These braces right here, I paid for these. My hard work. Okay? My hard work. My education. Okay? My prayer life. My God. Both of my kids had braces. They didn't have braces from public assistance. They had braces from the money out of my pocket. This roof over my head, let me tell you something, racist. I bought this roof right here in this house when I was 23 years old. When you get yours, when you got married, I was a single woman. Okay? This micro shading on my eyes that y'all was so worried about, I paid for this. Yep. These nails, I'm going to get them done every 2 weeks. You want to know why? Because I paid for it. Yes. 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 Let me introduce you to me instead of you making an assumption about me and my people. We are all not trying to get something from the system. And let me remind you something about the system. Do you know the government is actually made for the people? Ooh, did you not know that? Did you know that the government was set to keep structure and to supply the people's needs? That's why we elect them into office so they can keep the promises that they make to the American people. Without us, there is no America. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's think about that. So the people that's being starved out, the people that's paying all these high taxes, all this stuff going on, all this stuff being put upon us, the hard-working citizen. I don't blame welfare recipients. No, I don't. Okay? I don't blame none of that. I don't blame that. I don't blame people that don't work. I don't like somebody said to me, you should be sick of them freeloading off of you too. They not freeloading off of me. I understand they say, oh, the tax dollars, your tax dollars are going to that. My tax dollars is going to Trump too, in his ballroom. My tax dollars is going to everybody in Congress, everybody in the Supreme Court, or everybody that's making all these rules that are not helping people that I have a close understanding with, okay? My money go to them too. So if I'm sick of helping people that are on welfare and all that, I'm sick of helping y'all too. I'm sick of giving my money so you can keep going on vacations. I'm sick of giving up my money so you can take all these boat rides and helicopter rides. I'm sick of giving my money so you can continue to build this ballroom. I don't care about no donations and all that kind of bull crap. Show me the receipts. I am sick of financing the rich. Okay? That's all I'm going to say. I'm not afraid to say it. I don't care what none of the racists get on the comments and say anything and do this, that, and the third. I am an educated black woman, if you did not know. I know how to be ghetto when necessary. I know how to be classy when necessary. I know how to hold them and I know how to fold them. I've been in the hood and I've been outside the hood. I decided to break generational curses in my life for my children's sake. But that's because I had the exposure. I had the exposure to be around other people and to be in different rooms and in different places where I could see something better. Everybody is not given the opportunity to see anything else but the hood that they're growing up in. But do you know? Let me tell you something, racist. Do you know that if more people get exposure, you need to be real scared? And that's why. That's why. Because you know, if they get exposed to vacations, if they get exposed to good living, if they get exposed to stability, if they get exposed to quality education, okay? If they get exposed to some real good stuff, they gonna want it for themselves. So what you do is you make sure you give them enough to keep them on the outskirts so they don't filter or bleed into anything outside. You see what I'm saying? Of what's good. You want to keep them contained. Okay? And I get it. I'm not saying that all of my people are not guilty of something. Yes, we are all given free will. We are all given free will. We are all given a choice. But the exposure and the accessibility and resources are not fair. The playing field is not fair. When I was in school, the playing field was not fair. The goalpost was pulled away from me many times when it wasn't pulled away from the privileged. And when I say privilege, I mean those that are exposed at a very, very young age. Those parents, those children that had parents that were able to save money for them to go to college so they don't have to worry about student loans being forgiven right now. I'm talking about the privilege where they grew up in a house that had a fence. So they played inside the fence and they didn't have to worry about actually their ball going out in the street and the child getting hit by a car because it's a busy city street. I'm talking about the privilege that had a dog in the house, like a lassie or something. I'm talking about those people, okay? I'm talking about those that were not privy to having a swimming pool. Okay, I'm talking about those that had the swimming pool, that had the vacations, that their fathers took them fishing and they went camping and they had all these different exposures. That's considered a privilege. And what happens is these children and their parents think that is common living. Okay? They think it's common living. So because they think that is a common way of living, they can't see the blessing in it. Do you know for African American people, basically people of color, we see the blessing in the smallest things because we've come from nothing. We did not have privilege. But when you have people that are privileged, they look at that two-parent household as common. They look at having a refrigerator full and a freezer full of food as common. They look at being able to, go horseback riding or going camping with their family or, getting a car when they turn 16 or if they graduate high school, they get a brand new car or they get, a lawn to playing in a pool. That's common. That's common. So they don't see the blessing in it. You know what I'm saying? They don't see the blessing. For us, oh my God, those that have not had that exposure. And you know what? I thank God that there are some people of color that haven't been able to experience those things and give it to their kids right now. But the majority of us, that's not common. That's not common. You see what I'm saying? That's not common. I'll give you another reason why it's not common. A lot of people talk about black people scared of water. Black people not scared of water. If you grew up in the hood, you don't have no pools. You got a city pool. And the city pool is usually either shut down or something didn't happen where you can't even go to the city pool. You see what I'm saying? Because there's so much going on. So that's not common for us. That's not common. There are a few, and I'm going to say it again, there are a few that have had the opportunity to have these exposures. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want you to come into the live in the middle and not realize what I'm saying. I'm saying it's not common. And if you think things that you are privileged to have are common, that's what makes you have that racist, privileged mindset. And then you automatically assume that if people are not living the way you are, then they're living off of the government. They're living off of Section 8. They're living off of public assistance. They're robbing, they're stealing, they're cheating. That is not the case. I am here to tell you that there are a lot of African American and people of color, such as myself, that are very successful. Okay? And also single parents that are very successful at taking care of their children. Okay? My children's father, he didn't even want them. Did that stop me? No, it didn't stop me. Was I privileged to have the things and the tools that I needed? No. It was hard for me. So what happened was every little blessing that God gave me, I asked him to please make me a good steward over it. And then I knew he would increase my territory. I put God as my center. And you want to know another reason why I put God as my center? Because my ancestors always put God as their center. As they got beat, as they've gotten killed, as they got separated from their families. I will not let you make me forget something that was not that long ago, because that's what keeps me pushing. And a lot of my brothers and sisters have lost that, and we got to get back to that. You have to remember, they went through something so we can do better. They went through something so we can have better. You see what I'm saying? They went through something so we don't have to react to everything. You see what I'm saying? I'm living off of their prayers. I'm living off of their prayers. I'm living off of their sacrifices. So now I pray and I try to sacrifice for my children and people that I see in need. Because if it had not been for the people that came before me to make the sacrifices and to put out the prayers, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now and sit on this phone, regardless of how people feel or regardless of what's going on in this world, regardless if I have money or don't have money. Listen, I'm able to sit here and hopefully give somebody some hope to understand that, listen, it will get better if you do better. And I'm not saying do better the way the racists say we're supposed to do better. How about do your homework and do better the way our ancestors said do better? Come on, somebody. You don't really need them to tell you to do better. You don't even need them to tell you what to do. All you got to do is open up the history books. All you got to do is find out what they marched for, what they were killed for, what they struggled for. And that should give you enough motivation to realize, like, wow, I shouldn't depend on X, Y, and Z. I shouldn't sit and be lackadaisical and think that everything is okay. And as long as I get the crumbs off the table of X, Y, and Z, I'll be fine. You see what I'm saying? You are deserving of more than crumbs. You are deserving of so many things that this life has to offer. What this life has to offer is not just offered to the privileged. It's offered to everybody. But I understand that the resources are not given out equally. The exposure is not given out equally. I understand that. I didn't have the exposure. I didn't have the resources. I had the hunger. Okay? I had the hunger. And I realized that no matter what people may say about me, how they may feel about me, how they may talk down to me or may talk down about me, I am who God says I am, regardless. I don't run from anything, but I will exit the door when it serves me no purpose. Come on. I said I won't run from anything, but I exit the door when it serves me no purpose. Okay? And that's another thing. We got these misconceptions of how far we can go in life. Listen, you can go as far as the eye can see. And the eye that you want to see is God's eye, because he has the ultimate vision. He can see further than any of us can imagine, see, conceive, or know. But you have to put you have to put that in God's hands. You see what I'm saying? You have to put that in God's hands, because without him, nothing is possible. You see what I'm saying? And also, you need to be passionate in this day and age, okay? You have to be passionate about what it is that you believe and you stand on. And you can't be scared to open up your mouth and speak your truth. People are going to come for you. People are going to throw dirt on your name. People are going to bring up maybe the past. They might try to put some twist in the present, and they might even try to curse and predict your future. You stand up and speak your truth, because you will always be okay as long as you stand up and speak your truth and be about something. Be about something. Be about something. You see what I'm saying? Be about something. Because if if you give, it's a saying that if you give them control to feed you, you give them control to starve you. And that just does not apply to food. Meaning, I'll give you a prime example. If you or your child, and you should teach your children this, if you only pick up a book when you're in school and required to pick up a book, you will only have the knowledge that they made accessible to you. But if you pick up a book outside of when you're required, then you will forever be knowledgeable, and you will always be up to date on what's going on. You see what I'm saying? You will always be up to date on what's going on. It's not just about food that you can consume, but it's about knowledge. It's about your purpose. It's about exposure. It's about accessibility. You have to go further than what's required. It's just like your job say you got to be there you got to get there at 9, you leave at 5, you get a paycheck. After work, you just live your life frivolously. Well, why can't you have structure in your life outside of 5 o'clock? Is it only structural because they require it of you? So you don't have no structure for yourself. You have no purpose for your life outside of 5 o'clock. You just living for the check. And you only have structure because they're making you have it. No. You gotta do it for yourself. You see what I'm saying? You gotta do it for yourself. You can't depend on people to that extent. You can't. But you also have to realize that if you need assistance, it is nothing wrong with that, y'all. Don't ever let nobody make you think it's something wrong with needing assistance, needing support. You're trying your best, and it's just hard. Because let me tell you something. It's hard for single people, and it's hard for people with children. Don't get it twisted. Don't sit up and think because people single and they ain't got no kids that it ain't hard for them. It's hard for everybody. Because everybody's earning potential is different. Okay? 23-year-olds ain't buying houses like I did back in the day. It ain't just happening because it ain't the same market. Okay? It's not the same as it used to be. Single people are struggling just like people with children. Stop saying, oh, she keep having all these kids. She need to go to work. Even if she go to work, it's still not enough. How about say, as the government is for the people, we need to make sure the people are getting livable wages so they don't have to depend on governmental assistance. The kids ain't got nothing to do with it. They didn't ask to be here. So we can't continue to think you penalize the parent and don't think about the kid. If that's the case, do you know how many of you should have not been cared about? I know it's a lot of people on here that they parents had multiple children. Don't act like your mama ain't had 5, 6, 7 of y'all and daddy ain't walk out the house. It's happening to every race in the world where daddy went to go get the milk and he never came back. But your mama was barefoot and pregnant and there to serve at his beck and call. But he never came back. Okay? Things happen to people. You don't know everybody's story. You don't know everybody's story. That's when that's what pisses me off too, when they talk about, abortion laws and stuff. Women are out here getting raped. Women are out here getting molested by family members. It's all kinds of stuff happening. They should have the right to choose. It's bad enough their right to choose who was humping on them or taking away their innocence. That was taken away from them. But now you're going to take away the right for them to choose what they go through with their body? You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy how mankind has come to the point where they're operating as if they're God. You can't make those type of decisions. If that's the case, do you know how many restrictions you would have on you if God decided to take away your free will? How God gonna give you free will, but man gonna try to take it away? God gives us all free will, but somebody's gonna come along and try to take it away. And not just somebody, but somebody of the opposite sex. Men get a cold and feel like they're gonna die. But you're gonna tell a woman what to do? You see what I'm saying? So it's like a big onion, y'all. It's such an onion, and there's so many different layers. But don't lose focus. And also don't be distracted about what's going on. I know a lot of people don't watch the news. Watch the doggone news. Because hearsay always has a little bit of the person that's relaying the message. It always has a little bit of their seasoning on top of it. Do your homework. Don't just watch one news station. You need to watch a few nowadays so you can filter through the mess and figure out what's really going on. Okay? Then you got Google. And you got the library. Okay? It's a lot of places where you can cross-reference and really look up stuff for yourself and stop listening to the masses. A lot of people are out here don't even know the branches of government. A lot of people are out here don't even realize that the president has but so much power. A lot of people don't even understand why Trump is upset that the Democrats did what they did the other day. A lot of people don't even understand that the power they have is more power than what the government has, because we're the ones that put them in office. But because we sit back in ignorance and don't educate ourselves, but only read enough while we were in school, only what was required, and we left the books alone afterwards, we just live off of what they tell us. You are better than that. You are greater than that. God loves us all, but don't live oppressed. You don't have to live oppressed. And you don't have to believe whatever. Do you know if I believed all them nasty comments that was left on my Instagram post, I would be in a corner crying somewhere? I responded to a few of them. And then it was so many comments that it was overloaded that I turned the comments off, because it was like 171 comments, and most of them were all racist. I did post a couple of them so people can see, because I want people's eyes to be open too. Like, everybody is not your friend, okay? Everybody don't mean you well. It's some people that's sitting right next to you on a regular basis, and they hiding behind a screen name. They hiding behind a screen name. And they doing some damage behind that screen name. And then when you find out what screen name that is and who it belongs to, and if you block them, then they go make another one. Because they ain't got nothing else better to do. They ain't got nothing else better to do. And I understand that everybody has a job in life. And some people like jobs that don't pay them well. And it doesn't pay well to troll people. It doesn't pay well to cause people mental harm. It doesn't pay well to put trash on people's name. It doesn't pay well to be racist and discriminatory. It doesn't pay well. And when I say it doesn't pay well, I mean in the end, when we all close our eyes, that's when you receive your final payment. And that does not pay well in the end. Okay? That don't pay well in the end. All of the grief and everything that you sow and you try to put on other people, and you sit up and you plot and you scheme, it doesn't pay well. And that payment that we all receive is when we close our eyes. That's called the final payment. And those jobs that you have decided to take do not pay well. Okay? They don't. They just don't. So I just want us all to be mindful. You do not have to pick a side. How about pick God? How about that? Because once you pick God, God will enlighten you and help you to see the error of your ways. He'll also help you to see the way of escape from your own nonsense, and he will protect you from other people's as well. He will help you to realize that you don't have to pick a side, but you pick his side, and that he'll bring clarity into every circumstance that you just don't understand or you can't relate to or you don't believe. That's why I'm able to see where this person is coming from, where that person is coming from, and where that person is coming from. I'm also able to see BS, and I'm also able to see distrust. I'm also able to see disloyalty, and I'm also able to see people that are only all about themselves. You see what I'm saying? But that's a gift. That is nothing that I can do on my own. Because let me tell you something. When I get too far away from God, my gifts start to weaken. And as my gifts start to weaken, I start to involve myself in things that I should not involve myself in. And then I start to lose the gifts that God has given me. And listen, I can't afford to lose the gifts that God has given me, especially as I get older in life. I don't need to get further away from my gifts because my gifts are what's keeping me right now in this crazy time. So when I realize I'm getting further and further away, it's because either I'm gossiping, either like I was gambling too much, I was around the wrong people, I was having the wrong conversations. But when you know better, you do better. And one thing about me, ever since I started this channel, I always told people I'm never going to be the same. The way I am right now, I will grow. As long as I'm on this channel and you see me, you're going to see me grow. You're going to see me change because I am a child of God, regardless of whatever may be going on in my life. I'm never leaving God's side. I'm always going to pray. I'm always going to acknowledge him. And as long as you do those things, you ain't going to have no choice. You ain't going to have no choice. I used to cuss like a sailor on this channel. My vocabulary is too big for me to be cursing like that. But I was getting consumed by things. And when I say things, I got consumed by the things of this world. And the word of God say, don't be consumed by the things of this world. And I was consumed. I was caught up. And when I decided to detach myself, it has nothing to do with causing anyone else any harm or causing anyone any strife. I'm trying to save my soul. I'm trying to save my soul. And obedience is better than sacrifice. And I was sacrificing my gifts. When you start to sacrifice your gifts, you start to doubt your abilities that God gave you. One of the biggest abilities that God has given us through the Holy Spirit is discernment. Discernment is one of the biggest gifts. When you start to lose your discernment and you start to doubt, when you start to doubt what you know that you know that you know is right, and you know that you know that you know this is going on, and you know that this person or that person or this situation or this place is no good for you, that's when you know you're starting to get too far away from God and your gifts are weakening. And eventually they will fade away. Nobody or nothing is worth my gifts. Nobody or nothing. I always said, matter of fact, Aunt Tracy on here. Hey, Erica, I've always said, listen, I don't care. It's funny because when I changed my channel around, I knew that I would lose a lot of people because my content wasn't going to be the same. But I always said that in this channel, I'm going to be true to me. If my life changes periodically, I'm not going to be doing the same thing all the time. I'm not. And I can't be upset about that because I said I wanted a channel that reflects who I am. And at the present time, this is where I'm at and this is what I'm doing. I have grown tremendously. And the funny thing is my growth, it didn't matter to me who noticed my growth but God. But you know who noticed my growth and it made me feel so good? My children. My children, they know I always took care of business. But they noticed when I started to choose me and I stopped making excuses for people, places, and things, and I stopped making excuses for myself, and I started holding myself accountable, and I would do things that really threw people off. That's when they were like, wow, Mom, you really said you was going to do that and you did it. Absolutely. You see what I'm saying? Absolutely. Because I know with God, all things are possible. There is nothing new under the sun. All things are possible. God has no limitations. And because I am an heir to the throne of grace, I can only set limitations on myself. And I refuse to set limitations on myself when God says his grace and his mercy is unlimited. It's unlimited. So why am I going to put myself in a straitjacket because of what the world says? I can't depend on other people to fight on me. That was one of my biggest, I think, obstacles. I'm a very loyal person, and I would fight for people all the time, but I realized they wouldn't fight for me the way I would fight for them. But then I realized, wow, this is the case, but it's a gift, and you can't share it with everybody. Because everybody doesn't deserve for you to fight for them. You get what I'm saying? You know who are the people in your life that you've been fighting for and you need to stop it. And I'm here to tell you, stop it. Because if something happens and the shoe is on the other foot, they're going to try to play Jedi mind tricks on you. And they're going to leave you in the dark or in the rain by yourself. You have to learn to fight for yourself, stand up for yourself, reward yourself, pat yourself on the back, treat yourself, do things to make yourself happy. Don't look for validation. Don't look for reward. Don't look for, being commended. Go out here in this life and celebrate you. And go get it for yourself. And it's not easy. It is not easy. I know people get on here and they make things look so easy. They never show their struggles. They never show themselves crying. They never show themselves going through hardship, pain, depression. Listen, depression is real. Anxiety is real. And 80% of the world are dealing with 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 different mental illnesses all at the same time. Okay? But it's not shown. So when people are struggling, they look at other people and they glorify their lives because they feel like, darn, they got it all together. Meanwhile, when they turn their camera off, they crying. Their husbands or their wives is cheating on them. The electricity about to get turned off tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? That outfit they had on, they borrowed it from somebody or they stole it from a store, or they into some type of stuff that they ain't got no business being into. They depressed. They hearing voices. You see what I'm saying? They can't pay their mortgage. They in foreclosure. You see what I'm saying? They struggling with drug addiction. They struggling with alcoholism. They struggling with sex addiction. They can't hold down a job. They can't keep a job. You see what I'm saying? They getting beat up, abused, misused. Nobody talks about that online. And then when you have the people that do talk about it, they get condemned. It takes a strong person to sit up and be transparent on social media. It takes a strong person to be transparent on social media because everybody doesn't like transparency. Some people like monotony. They like to see the same stuff over and over and over again because what happens is it becomes religious, and it's easy for us to play the same things over and over and over and over in our heads because it feels good. That's how addictions start. You see what I'm saying? Like for me, when I would gamble, the feeling of getting such and such and knowing how much such and such is, and the machines and the people around us, and we drinking and we having a good time, and you're just throwing the money in the machine, and yeah, it's feeling good, and we all hype about this, that, and the third, and da-da. And then when it's all over or the money run out, reality set in. You go to the Mac machine, you're over the limit. You go look in your bank account, you ain't got no money in there. You realize that you done borrowed this and you done borrowed that. You done robbed Peter to pay Paul, and then you realize that Peter ain't even got the money. You see what I'm saying? You done did a whole bunch of stuff, so the high is over. So now you waiting for the next high. I'm not afraid to talk about that kind of stuff. I'm not. That was my life. And do you know you're overcome and people are overcome by your testimony? Now, I concentrate on, I remember my weekends would be filled with, okay, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go to this casino, I'm going to pick up this and I'm going to pick up that, and I'm going to do, now you know what I look forward to? I'm trying to go to Linvilla Orchards on Friday. I told my boyfriend, I said, I want to go to Linvilla Orchards on Friday. Then after that, I'm going to come home because a girlfriend of mine is sending clothing and shoes to Jamaica because we're not sending any aid there to Jamaica. Yeah, but we're building a ballroom. But that's another conversation. So I have an abundance of shoes and an abundance of clothes. Anybody's been watching me for a long time, they already know. And before I switch my summer over to my winter, I always go through everything to see what it is I'm going to really, really wear so I can take it out of my closet and give it away. So now I'm motivated to do it faster because she's going to come by Saturday and pick the stuff up. These are the things that I am retraining my brain and retraining my desires and trying to get my dopamine rush out of things that are good for me. It works for some other people. Don't get me wrong. And some people had the resources to do it, but Nista did not. Because God has not put me in a position where he put me for me to be wasteful. I'm not rich. I'm a hardworking woman. Like I said, my kids didn't grow up on food stamps. They don't know nothing about no EBT card. People were saying that. My kids don't know nothing about no EBT card. My kids don't know nothing about no Medicaid. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it just pisses me off that they think all of us need the same things. And everybody's story is different. And privilege is not common for the majority of us because of where we come from and the things that our ancestors had to endure in order for you to be privileged. I'm going to say it again. Most of us are not privileged, and it's not common because of the things our ancestors went through in order for you to be privileged. So that's why you can't understand. You can't understand. And you know what the sad thing is? I don't expect you to understand. I just expect that whoever is under the sound of my voice and made it this far into the live stream got something out of it. And it will open their eyes a little wider. It'll open their hearts. And that they will seek God. And that they will seek knowledge. And that they will think more highly of themselves, not judge other people, not point the finger at other people, but realize that God put us here on this earth to be of service. Yep. He put us on this earth to be of service. And one thing I always told my friends when I would give them something, I said, a closed hand can't receive. Anybody that was close to me and I gave them something and they just didn't understand why. And I had a lot of friends like that were close to me. They'd be like, oh, no, you don't have to do this. Why are you doing it? Because a closed hand can't receive. A closed hand can't receive. And the United States needs to understand collectively, because it's going to take all of us, because we all live in the United States. We cannot receive the blessings of God with a closed hand. United States, we will not receive the blessings of God with a closed hand. You got to open up your hand to receive, and you got to open up your hand to give. You have to. Or you will reap what you sow. If I give, I give wholeheartedly. I don't give to talk about you. I don't give to brag and say I helped you do something. I don't give to make you look less than. I give because God gave me. And he told me to be of service. And he also said be a cheerful giver. If I'm not going to be cheerful with giving you, then I'm just not going to give it. I'm just not going to give it. But for whatever reason, God has blessed me to be a cheerful giver, and he's blessed me to be able to do it and do it not grudgingly. Like, I don't do it grudgingly. I don't have to think 20 or 50 times about it, or anything like that. Now, he told me to be smarter, and because of that, I have come a long, long way, a long way. But I'm thankful for everything God has done for me. And I'm also thankful for my freedom. And when I say thankful for my freedom, I'm not talking about freedom on this earth. I'm talking about mental freedom. I'm so thankful that I'm able to speak my mind and not worry about what people think or what people say. Do you know how many people are in mental bondage because they are so scared of what people are going to think of them, how people are going to view them? And then what happens is they're in bondage to the point where they start to deflect. They start to deflect. And then they put their feet in shoes that don't belong to them. That's another thing. Everybody ain't talking about you. Everything ain't about you. Anxiety will have you bound down, thinking that everything somebody says or what they do pertains to you. It does not. It does not. You got to get your mind right, and you got to be honest with yourself. You have to. So I'm going to get off of here. I love y'all, and I appreciate you guys listening. I'm constantly praying for this world. But I am going to say, if you are able to help somebody, I'm not saying help everybody, But if you are able to help somebody, then go out there and help them. Okay? Go out there and be a blessing. Because God will bless you. He will. Go out there and be a blessing. You have to be a servant. Because we're supposed to be taking care of each other. People make the world go round. You see what I'm saying? So go out there and be a blessing to somebody. I don't care if it's just $5 or $10. I don't care if it's clothing that you don't wear anymore. I don't care if it's just a pack of meat or a bag of sugar. Go out there and be a blessing to somebody. Listen, if you don't want to be a blessing to the adult because you think they should be doing this, that, and the third, just remind yourself of the things that you should be doing, but you not. We are quick to talk about what somebody else should be doing. But have you sit back and think about what you should be doing? Because I'm sure there is something that you should be doing that you're not doing. Because we all have something that we should be doing, but we're not. Okay? All of us. So once you start to worry about what you should be doing, I'm telling you, you'll be able to be a blessing to people in a lot of ways. Even if you can't be financially a blessing or physically a blessing, you'll be an emotional blessing. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because it'll be one less person out here wreaking havoc on other people's lives because they got their life together. I'm going to say it one more time. You will be a blessing once you start concentrating on yourself, for real, and doing something that you're supposed to be doing, because you will be one less person out here wreaking havoc on other people's lives because you've decided to do what you're supposed to be doing instead of messing in other people's world. Okay? I love y'all. This is Nista. If you like my content, because it's forever changing, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. I can't even tell you that I'm going to be live every day. I can't even tell you that I'm going to be live on Thursdays, Wednesdays, or Tuesdays. I don't know. It's whenever the Lord leads me. If you want to become a member, it's greatly appreciated. If you don't, then that's fine too. I understand. But I'm just thankful that somebody took the time out to listen to me talk about the things that were concerning me and my heart. And that I hope that it changed somebody else's perspective on what's going on right now in the United States of America and in this world as a whole. And they realize now today that they actually could be a help instead of a hindrance. Okay? So I will see you guys soon. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate them. And honestly, I love you with the love of God. I'm going to say it again. I love you with the love of God. And that is the best love that you could ever receive from anywhere on the face of this earth, is the love that God has through his people. Talk to y'all later. Bye.